Coach, they had some success early offensively, and the defense kind of settled a bit there. I mean, what did you see from your defense, and then it kind of faded a little bit late?
Yeah, obviously the first two drives, the way we started, not what we anticipated, not what we wanted. We settled in. I think the next four drives played really well, and then again they're able to go down the field in a 2-minute situation, score a touchdown with 11 seconds left in the half, which was frustrating in that moment. So I thought our guys did. They just settled in and did some really good things. We had them in some situational issues, had them in some 3rd and longs, weren't able to get off the field. QB has a big scramble, I believe it's on the first drive, where we got a chance to get off the field. And then we did. We settled in, but, man, again, the explosive plays, the way they were able to throw and catch on the perimeter at the end of the day was what gave them the ability to go get away from us, with us not having the ability to go score and finish drives.
You got a lot of thinking to do now that the season's over, but what needs to change in the offseason for this defense to be up to yours and Mississippi State standards?
Yeah, we're going to be evaluating every single bit of it, and we do. We've got to continue to make sure we're making every single roster move that we need to continue to build the depth that we need so that we can sustain instead of just having good moments. I think that's a critical piece of it. We've had some really good moments. We have not sustained, and definitely hadn't sustained the way we need to these last 3 weeks defensively. And so again, as we get to it, man, it's going to start with the evaluation of our roster, seeing exactly where we're at, and evaluating every single piece of it as we get ready to get in the offseason.
Coach, obviously Cabario made his first college start today. What kind of went into giving him the start?
Yeah, really, really hard decision for me as we got back from Missouri. Thought about it nonstop on Sunday, and for me it was as hard as it was to make. The result hadn't been what we needed, and for us, I felt like things had not been great up front. Who's the guy that has the ability, to make a couple of plays when things aren't perfect? And one had done some good things and felt like it was the right time. And again, for me, incredibly hard, because my love for Blake, his toughness, how he has led and continued just to be exactly who he's supposed to be. So for me, really hard, but at the beginning of last week, made that decision.
What do you just point to right now when you're trying to give fans hope and moving into next season? What are some of those areas that you point to?
Yeah, I think, again, if you look at us from year 1 to year 2, there's been great growth. And I think anybody can see that as we continue to build it the right way and build these pieces in the roster around one. That's going to be really important. I think we've got somebody, that's going to catch a snap every single down, that is going to be an elite player in this conference and in America. And so building it the right way around him, creating stability for him, will be huge. We've got to go get the pieces that we need up front offensively, and that will be a huge point of emphasis as we get ready for the portal piece of it.
In the offseason, you essentially kept the defensive staff together. You added a couple of coaches too. Yeah. This is the 6th time, I think, in 2 years they've gone up 500 yards of offense. The evaluation piece, does that include your coaching staff on the defensive side in the offseason?
Like I mentioned it, we will. We're going to be evaluating every single piece of it. I think I said roster, but all of it, top to bottom, and that's the reality of, man, when you sit here and you finish and you don't finish the way you want to, at the end of the day, it's my job to make sure we're putting our guys in position, and that's the evaluation of every single bit of it.
Also, too, on Cabario, why did you feel like this game was the time to give him that opportunity to start?
Yeah, I did. I felt like he was ready, and he had just gotten better and better and better. And when you're around him and you're in the meeting room with him every single day, the young man got great command, and he's got great understanding of what we're trying to do. And that for me there was comfort in that, because of how he has worked himself into knowing what the expectation is. And he's going to want so many things back. He wanted so many things back inside the game. Just had the chance to throw it around a couple of times and make some layups, and he'll want those back. But his toughness that he played with, he took great care of the ball. Really unfortunate on the batted ball pick. there on first down. That was, to me, a huge play in the game, but proud of, how he went about it today.
Two of your goals for this season were the Golden Egg and bowl eligibility. What do you say to your team after this game, knowing you come up just short of that?
Yeah.
And how do you start this evaluation process?
Yeah, I mean, there was great disappointment. There's disappointment top to bottom. And, the message in the locker room is I do, man. I hate it for guys like Nick Mitchell. I hate it for guys like J-Man and Brylow, like Albert Reese and Jacoby, and so many of our guys like Brennan that don't get the ability to go enjoy this and have a happy locker room and be able to extend our season by one. And that's what I hate as much as anything. I also said that because those guys have been who they've been, they've led the way they've led, they've had the toughness that they've had, man, it's going to bleed down through the program. And there's young people inside the walls that are going to reap the benefits and the rewards of those leaders. And we've got a great young linebacker room that's very, very talented. And Nick Mitchell is going to be felt in that room for a long time. And I can't say that enough. And he's going to come back, and he's going to be incredibly proud about what he did as he continued to fight for Mississippi State every single day, and he's going to see it showing up.
With the defense, not just even today, but just kind of down the stretch this last month, what do you think just changed or kind of went wrong for you guys on that side?
Yeah, again, I think it was a little bit different today than what it's been. Today we did not make any plays on the perimeter in the throw game. The back did. I think he had over 120, 130 yards. So we didn't do a good enough job on him. We bled in the run game at times, but we had some much better moments than we've had in the past 3 weeks in the run game. Again, the explosive plays on the perimeter and not being able to make the play on the edge, to me, was the difference today. And we've been so much better against the throw game until, some of these moments today, which was, again, really, really frustrating.
No, you won it today, but this is year 2 under your leadership, with your first head coaching year being last year. How have you seen your growth as a coach in these last 2 years to help y'all get better? Yeah.
For me, just having great conviction in the process, who I am, who I'm supposed to be, being very, very true to that, and making sure that, again, man, we're doing everything we can as we move this thing forward to be in a much better spot day one next fall. And again, that's my job. I think we've got some great young players inside our locker room, and I think we got guys that are extremely excited about being here and continuing to grow this thing the right way. And for me, that's important. And as I looked around in that locker room, man, a ton of disappointment. Our young guys, our young leaders inside that room have to hold on to moments like this to understand, man, when it gets really, really hard in the off season, that's what you're doing it for. So we're not leaving it to chance, and you got the ability to change the result.
Yeah, Coach, just kind of going off of that, how have you seen just this group of guys specifically grow this year, and just general thoughts on the season?
Yeah, I love how connected they've been. I love how our guys have stayed together. I love how our guys have continued to show up and been an incredibly fun group to coach with great intent in the building. And I hate the fact that there's the disappointment after not being on the right side of it. So, again, it's like I told those seniors, man, they've got so much to be proud of where we were day one compared to where we are today. I hate that we can't feel good about it. And that's the frustrating piece for me, and the disappointment for those guys.
With the changes in the recruiting calendar, I mean, like, I know you're going to do some pre-portal work and things like that, but as far as like recruiting your own roster and things like guys like Kelly Jones that may have a decision, I mean, when you sit down and talk with them, what's kind of your message to them about the Bulldog future?
Yeah, every single discussion is different depending on their situation, right? A guy like Kelly's going to have to look at, from a draft status standpoint, what he wants that to look like as we get all the information back. We'll have a huge sit down with Kelly and be able to present all of the information actually a week from Tuesday, and be able to go through that as we get his draft grade back. I think a guy like Kelly's really excited about where we're going, and a guy that understands his leadership, his growth, has a chance to continue to propel us the right way. And again, every conversation with these guys will be different because their situations are all different. But I think to a man, you ask those guys inside that locker room, there is belief and there's excitement about where we're going. There's disappointment in the result. There's disappointment in today that we're not able to go play another one, and we're not able to get the golden egg here at home. But for our guys, I think there's great understanding of where we're going, and there's no doubt about that.
You talked about improving the offensive line. You got better on the defensive side of the ball from a depth standpoint and added some talent there too. I mean, what's your thoughts on this roster and where you are right now and the confidence that you have in building a better roster even from this year?
Yeah, the way I view it is we've got to take the step that we took from year 1 to year 2, year 2 to year 3. And, like, again, the big picture view of this, if we will do exactly that, we're going to be in a really good place. And we have to have the ability to take this roster from where it was day 1 to where it is today and then take this huge jump. And there's going to be pieces all over, whether it's from the depth standpoint or starters in the offensive line. It's going to look a lot different at every single position. The retention piece is incredibly important. That's what December's going to be built for, having those conversations and the ability to know exactly what that's going to look like as we move through the month of December.
How did Blake just take the decision of not being able to start this game?
Sure, really hard, incredibly hard. Blake's poured a lot into this, and he's been an unbelievably consistent person inside our building for 2 years, and he's been through a lot. And for him not to have the ability to go do it today is it's hard for him and hard for me because, again, of who he's been and his toughness and how he has absolutely laid it on the line for me and this university. So really hard for him and hate that this was the end for him.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about Fluff's performance? I know he had to maybe take on a little bit more responsibility because of the situation, but he had 80 yards for you and seemed like he really, even though he still may not have been 100%, he really left it all out there for you.
Yeah, he did. Fluff played incredibly tough, had the ability to, get healthy and feel as good as he's felt. And for him, he's just getting started. And I love where he's at. I love where he's going. I think you look up and you think about what our backfield is going to look like week 1 next week, and that's something to get really, really excited about. And as we continue to put the pieces around guys like One and Fluff, man, keeping that in mind and understanding that we've got some real difference makers. And that's my job to make sure that we're doing a great job from a roster standpoint to be able to go take advantage of having players like those two.
Kind of sticking with roster management, I know earlier in the year you said there was some guys that were redshirting and you were kind of handling that internally. Do you expect all those guys to go on the portal, or are there some guys that you wanted to redshirt for a development piece that may be back for next year?
Yeah, again, every single one of those scenarios are specific to the kid and maybe the position that they play or the uniqueness of their situation. So, again, December is all about, making sure the retention piece is exactly what we want it to be and what we need it to be. There's going to be plenty of guys that are going to move on, that need to move on, and that's part of the college world right now. And so for us, position by position, making sure, we are nailing this thing. It starts with retention. We're signing a class on Wednesday from a high school and junior college standpoint. That'll be really important. And then as we get ready for January 2nd to hit, we are incredibly dialed in and focused on what we need to go take that next step.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.